Give us a quick update for what's happening out in the valley, particularly all this stuff with Apple, with the Android, with the stolen iPhone, with all the rest of it, and how does that shake out for for Apple in terms of its relationship with the valley, developers, consumers?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that there's kind of two schools right now. There's the Android people and the iPhone people. They're kind of a little bit butting heads, and certainly the companies, above them, both Google and Apple, are also doing that. We've got Steve Jobs kind of calling out Android, saying they're trying to kill the iPhone, and now at the Google I/O, the big emphasis was obviously on Apple, and they need to beat the iPhone, and Android's coming out with all these updates, and of course working with Adobe and Flash, and kind of just going right in the face of Apple. But I think it's exciting. It's good for consumers ultimately because we have a real choice now finally.
So might you consider ditching your iPhone?
No, I'm still not ready to yet. At the Google I/O conference, they gave out the new Evo 4G phone, which is the newest Sprint Android device, which is supposed to be, the latest, greatest Android one. And it's nice. It's got like an 8 megapixel camera. It shoots some HD video. It's got some really nice features, but I still think there's something a little bit off that's just not quite as polished as the iPhone.
Cool. Now, what about this whole Facebook privacy blow up? What's happening and where is that shaking out?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting from my perspective of it. I've been following a lot of the location stuff going on, and it's like, I found some code recently that they were definitely getting ready to launch their location-based stuff check-in service on Facebook. But I think that they might be postponing that a little bit because they're kind of afraid now of the backlash that will get, since they're seeing such a high level of backlash on all of these privacy issues. But it's not just them too. Google had that lapse with the Street View data being sent out. And then there's startups like Blippi and stuff. They're having a lot of privacy issues. But yeah, I mean, the thing that's going on with Facebook right now is pretty intense. But I do think that ultimately it will blow over. I mean, right now we're in the thick of things, but ultimately I think they'll move past this just as they have in the past with all of their different little controversies.
But consumers still are concerned about their privacy. I mean, even though some people say privacy doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think, Mike wrote a pretty good post about that a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago now, talking about, it's kind of like the idea we all live in public, everything's becoming more and more in the public and less private. And I do think that that's generally happening. I think it's happening, a little bit slower than some people would like, and that's maybe even Facebook. Obviously, they want people to share this data. It's good for them because obviously with their advertisers and different things that they're trying. But it's also good, I believe that they think anyway, for the web, because all this data being out there and being able to be openly shared just kind of makes the web a more cohesive place. And you can, use your data that Facebook has. You can use it on sites like IMDb or on CNN to give you better recommendations. So that's their take on it. I don't think it's a bad take. I just think that people aren't quite ready to be sharing all this stuff that Facebook wants them to right now.
Okay, so speaking about the conference, it's about disrupt. There's a great deal of disruption going on. When's it going to shake out, and what's going to come after the disruption? Can you look in your crystal ball? No, but seriously, are there any trends or things you'll be looking forward to following here at the conference?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty interested to see what the effect, like the devices like the iPad are going to have, on all these different companies. Certainly we saw the effect that the iPhone had. And everyone has to kind of make these mobile apps now or develop for mobile devices, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of development comes up based on the popularity of the iPad. It's still sold out everywhere. I'm sure it's sold out right now all over New York. It's definitely sold out in San Francisco and most of the country, I think. And so it's getting ready to launch worldwide. And so its popularity is finally being proven after everyone was kind of skeptical about how it would do. So I'm really interested to see what some of these bigger companies like AOL and Yahoo and some of the other guys who are here, how they plan on kind of attacking things from that front. Maybe they're not even thinking about it right now because it still is a pretty early in the market, but I think that that's something they'll eventually have to look to.